That's why I'm never supposed to be in charge. This is what happens. Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
What she did?
What's going on? What's going on?
Everybody, I want to say hi.
What's going on?
Hola.
What up, Doge? What up, Doge? Your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Y'all over here starting trouble.
What's so funny? What's going on?
You.
I can't with y'all.
Do I need to take over? I need to go ahead and take over.
It's too much. It's too much.
Also, your boy Willie Styles.
Why I gotta get kicked to the curb though? Like, why you gotta take?
Because everybody's like acting like they scared or something.
I just hopped on.
Like that's what it's saying. Like it just is like boom, bow. Wait, I gotta press buttons. By the time he popped on, I'm like, wait a minute, smooth on. Then I'm like, wait a minute, we supposed to be live. Wait a minute.
Oh, good Lord. I had it under control.
Oh
all right, God. It's your boy. Can y'all hear me okay? I got a new microphone.
Yeah, we stop being CP time and announce yourself.
All right. So we got a great show lined up for you guys tonight. And welcome back, actually, because it's been we had another week break because of the holiday, but we're back. We're back in the building, ready for a great show. And how did everybody spend their break this time?
Man, I had a ball. Went fishing with the fam, cooking out over the weekend. Prior to that, it was my grandfather's birthday, 80th birthday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we celebrated that with him, and it was just mainly family time with me.
Oh, okay, for sure. Dame?
I didn't. You want Dame?
No. Queens first.
Oh, I didn't. What the hell I did? I purposely did nothing. Everybody was hitting me up like, yo, so we know you barbecuing, right? Because they know I'm used to, like, I'm known for sparking the grill at random moments, middle of the night. Like, I'm here for it all. And I was telling everybody, this ain't gonna be the spot this summer. Like, it's not gonna be how it was last. It was too much, a lot of stuff going on, so I had to scale back. So everybody thought I was lying. They was like, no, we know you putting something on the grill. And I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not. So, like, don't show up at my house. Like, don't do none of those things. I actually sat in the bed and relaxed most of the weekend. Took Zay outside, let him play and do his stuff. But like, I was not entertaining folks. Don't come to my house. I was not barbecuing. I did cook, however, but I wasn't cooking for other folk. I did cook Sunday or whatever, one of them days, something.
Oh, okay, for sure. I'll be like that. It'd be like that sometimes, I mean, you can't always, like you say, entertain everybody, all their needs and wants and all that kind of stuff. You gotta protect your peace, right? Protect your self-interest sometimes. So that's just fine.
It's okay to say no to hosting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm debating either 4th of July or like not even. I don't want to do like a 4th of July cookout. I probably want to do like a little game night, but.
Oh, okay.
I'm like on the fence of that because then it's like, okay, like who am I inviting? Because not everybody's gonna be invited to the cookout. So I be real selective.
Dame, how'd you spend your week?
Man, Saturday I had to work. Sunday I had to babysit my own kids. Can't babysit your own kids. I just use that as a joke. Monday we went house shopping.
Oh,
then we came home. Yeah.
That part. Yeah. Is it crazy in Detroit? Like house hunting, is it crazy in Detroit as it is up here? Because the market is all over the place. Like you be going look at a place and somebody already bought it. Are you there?
Dame, tell her.
So
that's for after show. We'll do that after show. We got some business to take care of.
All right.
Somebody I know posted that and I cracked up. I said, thank God I bought my house at the right time. I wasn't about to do all that.
Right. Oh yeah.
You got it at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's having that, I think, everywhere. So yeah, for sure. All right. Tonight's episode, we are bringing to y'all the pitfalls of modern dating. So I found this topic one day. I was just kind of scouring the Instagram feeds and ran into some reasons why modern dating, why we're failing at modern dating. And I know a lot of people have shared that consent or shared that same feeling that modern dating is tough. Modern dating is wreaked with havoc. there's issues constantly, and that sometimes it's just the other people, sometimes it's us. There's a lot involved there. So we're going to explore a couple of these things and kind of give our own take on it as well. So let's get started with that. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hopefully you guys are
tuned in, locked in, join the conversation.
Locked in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow us, because you want to be on the first hand knowledge when we about to drop different topics. We always dropping shows, so every Monday. We're almost at our 500th show. We're getting pretty close.
Close. Really?
Yeah. We've been doing this for a long time. So, but we're going to talk about pitfalls of modern dating. I want to start off with one of the main reasons that modern dating is failing. Is one the reasons, right? Is what why are you dating? What are you dating for? Are you being clear to other people? And I'm definitely going to talk about that. What are your intentions? So the meme that I found said that we're part of a generation that rushes into everything just so we can tell the world we have something. And I felt like that was so telling, that was definitely a big issue that we have in this social media world, that people are looking for that status to be able to post, I'm in a relationship, or I'm engaged, or whatever the case may be. And I think that a lot of people do fall into that trap of just trying to have something to show off. What do you guys think about that?
That's facts.
So what part do you want to talk about first? The reasons why?
Yeah, just the reasons why people are dating, and where they're going wrong, and how they're either having certain reasons or how they're communicating that.
Now, you already know where I'm gonna head first to is communication, but it's lack of communication, and that stems from what I always say: people don't really know themselves, so they don't know what they're really dating for. If they don't know themselves, they don't know what they really want. I remember we did a show before, and I was saying that most people always have their requirements for dating, right? Or what they require from a person they're dating. But you rarely hear people talk about what they bring to the table. You feel me? So sometimes they're getting, the real basic generic answers. I got my own money, my own place, my own car, all that nonsense. You feel me? Like that's just adulting. At the end of the day, you're just being an adult.
You're supposed to be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah, you feel me? So I think a lot of times the lack of reasoning behind people when they're dating is they don't really know themselves. They can't look in the mirror and be honest with themselves to give an honest answer, because they don't know what they want. They don't know what they need, more importantly. And so at some point, you really it's a selfishness too, because some people just trying to satisfy their own personal desire. You feel me? I know. I've been in certain situations dating to where I don't necessarily know if the woman was into me or just into the idea of dating me. If that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think I deal with that a lot. Like I feel like, and it's not, I felt that way. And it's funny that you said that, because just recently I had an experience where I felt that way, like severely. And I brought it to the person's attention. Like, listen, this is, and I'm trying now to be more transparent and direct, because I've experienced I've dated the way, just going with the flow. Now, this is where I'm at. This is why I'm doing. This is how I'm moving the way I move. And if you don't want that, that's fine. Let me know up front, and we can go on about our business. And that's not waste each other's time. Because if you tell me you want this, and I don't want what you want, then we already have a conflict. I'm not about to waste time with you or anything like that. So I like to be somewhat direct. right? And I had a conversation with this guy, and what he was saying and what he was doing were two different things. And I think it was more of, you have this, like, you like me, right? You liked me for a period of time, and now you have the opportunity to date me, right? And you have this ideal of who I am, not really understanding who I am. While I'm telling you that I'm dealing with the situation where I'm in a place of finding me. So I don't really have the energy to give you what you're looking for right now. But I need you to understand that if you want to date me, you got to understand that this is where I'm at right now. Like, I'm not where you want me to be. I'm right here. And even though you keep pushing me to date you, all right, I'm gonna see, maybe it's me, and I'm gonna try it. But your words and stuff aren't matching. And I think in that situation, it was the ideal of dating me versus actually dating me. Like, this is two different things. This is how I am. I'm in the process of healing. And if you can't deal with that, that's fine. I'm not asking you to. I'll back off and I'll step away. But you don't want me to step away. But at the same time, you're asking something that I can't give you right now.
So, and I think we talked about that before in terms of, why do you start dating, or are you ready to start dating, right? And I know both you, Sonny, and Smooth have talked about, rejecting advances for dating because of the fact that you weren't in a space for dating, or in the right mindset, or in the right health set, and I think that's important too, to be able to express that to someone. That's part of communicating your intentions or your needs, so that way that other person has options and can align with that. Go ahead, Smooth.
No, I 1,000% agree with everything you just said. And like, my biggest pet peeve is, I deal in reality. You feel me? And when we talking about the idea of dating me, or like how Sonny said, the ideal, it's like people are living in they want to live out this certain fantasy, this certain
facts. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how I want it to be.
And like, I don't live like that. I'm not living in no urban fiction novel. You feel me? Like, that's not what we doing here. This is 1,000
real life.
Yeah, this is real life. You feel me? So I'm not going to be happy every day. You feel me? Every day is not going to be a bed of roses around here. So how you deal with that, instead of, like, if you're dating to get married, right? So at some point, the honeymoon
is over.
It's over. You know what I mean? And we got to get back to the reality, to the day-to-day struggle. You know what I mean? That everyday struggle of trying to progress and improve ourselves. And in that is growing pains. So are you willing to go through them growing pains? And a lot of people don't think about that when they're dating, about the growing pains, because at some point you're gonna your mentality may change, their mentality may change. And how do you two adapt? You feel me? That's why I say communication is important.
That's facts.
You feel me? Instead of just, most people are just infatuated with each other. You feel me? So they ride that infatuation
until it's not there no more.
Until it's not there no more.
Until it play itself out, and then it's like, oh, this is not what I expected. Exactly. I was never going to be, and that's the thing. You putting somebody on this pedestal that they were never meant to be on, and like that's why I say it's like what you said is perfect. The ideal of it. Like, if I had a crush on you since middle school, and now I'm dating Smooth, it's like my ideal of us dating is this imaginary place that we not, but we grown as hell now. Like, we ain't middle school. We grown ass pushing 40 adults. I'm not the same person you fell in love with back in middle school. Exactly. So I'm a grown ass person, and like that's the concept of missing. I think, and that's to your point, is you're in this ideal phase in this fantasy world that's not realistic, and you've made this thing of what it's supposed to be, and when it's not that way, it doesn't go your way, and you're upset about it. And it's like, no, I need you to understand that I'm a real person. And that's why I kind of stray and went. And it's funny because I remember somebody saying, I know we did on the podcast, we said, are you dating who you want versus who wants you? And it's problematic to sometimes date the people that want you because they have this ideal, especially I fear it at best if you tell me you had a crush on me for umpteen years, and because like at this point, like, do you know me currently?
Exactly.
And are you willing to know me currently? Because this ideal you have of me and what you think I might be and what you see on the outside of what's presented out in social media and everything else, I'm like, people really going through shit and people have been through stuff. So what you surface view is nothing. Find out what, and it goes to this TikTok I seen today about if they can't love you at your worst, they don't deserve you at your best. Because when I'm like, when I'm going through stuff, this is me. Unreservedly, like my blog says, unreservedly me. And if you can't love me through that part, then you can't love me when I'm at my best. Because that's why, and it's just crazy. It's crazy that, like I said, that you said that, because like that was on my mind for a period of time. I haven't vocally said it out loud, but I think a lot of people do that. They date the ideal of people versus who they are, and when they find out who you are, you've now dropped down so low that they don't even know. Like, they don't want to be bothered because they haven't got a chance to know you. And you might be this person, you might be the person for them, but they don't want to see you. They want to see, they want to be stuck in this cloud nine of what they think. And that's why it's also, we go back to before we talked about getting caught up in somebody's potential versus who they really are. It's the same. And I think that's what the dating thing is. And I think that's the problem too. People don't take the time to really get to know the person that they're dating. They have this ideal of who they think they could be or who they think they are versus who they actually have sitting in front of them.
Very true. Very true. Dame, you got something to add?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff like unrealistic expectations from the person you're dating, dating for companionship, that not knowing what you want, unsure of what you really want. You just want a person to be there.
That's a great point.
You just want somebody to be there. I just want somebody to hold up to, and then when you get them, you don't know how to treat them because you have this one idea, this fantasy idea of how your relationship is going to be before you even get to know the person.
Yeah,
facts.
Because
and that happens so much.
Because you putting all this expectation and all this fantasy into your relationship before you got your chance to for the relationship to bloom and blossom towards something you created yourself with this individual.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I don't know if the instant gratification, because I know my ex-wife, she had this expectation of me to be loving and giving like her father was to her mother. She wanted our relationship to be mirror her parents.
Somebody else's, yeah.
And that's another thing too, the false of being like this relation. Like, everybody want to be Jay-Z, Beyonce. Everybody want to be this person and this person.
Sierra,
you don't know what the hell they're going
Russell,
through.
Yeah, but they went through their own struggles to get that relationship, and she's trying to instantly get there without going through the struggles. Those two people struggled for years to get their relationship the way they wanted, not the way their parents wanted it, or perception of other people outside looking in how they want their relationship.
So to answer the question, for those of us who are dating, Dame, you can't answer this, but like the question says below, what are the reasons you're dating, and how are you communicating that to people that you have been dating, or how are you conveying that to potential daters? So I want us each to answer that.
So and so, and that's the thing. I've been dating since I broke off my engagement, and it's been, and even before that, when I was dating her as well, and then before her, initially, I would always have these conversations of, what are you expecting? What am I expecting? That kind of thing, right? And what I've become more accustomed to now is ensuring that I'm communicating directly communicating what I want and how I want things, and then leaving that option out there for them to decide if they want to deal with that or not. And if they don't, but they want to continue, having dates or doing things, that's up to them. But for me, it's like, okay, I put this out here, what my intentions are, what my expectations are, what my needs are. And, like there's one woman that I dated, and it was like, hey, I want to be able to be in a relationship where, you know, I got X, Y, and Z coming out of the relationship. I want to be able to have good communication, blah, 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 blah. But I had some stipulations that I didn't want to go through, right? You know, I was like, hey, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go through that. And being able to put that on the table and be honest about them and say, look, you know, and stick by them. You know, that's the other thing I think where people fail is that they'll say one thing and then, like Sonny said, they'll start doing something different than what they originally said. And it's like, is it that they weren't standing by their expectations, or were they saying what they thought you needed to hear for now and then changing up later? Or, you know, one thing I've felt like I've had an issue with, and especially while I'm trying to date, was, you know, am I doing things or saying things that may make that person feel like I want something different than what I'm, you know, than what I originally said I intended, and me being able to come back and say, you know what, I understand I did this, but this has no bearing or change to what my intentions are or what my needs are, so that way they understand that, yeah, maybe I'm going above and beyond, right? You know, because then that may signal to a person like, oh, maybe you want something more or something different, or maybe you want this more than you said you wanted it, you know. And it's like, no, I still want this to be in this space here, but my intentions may not match because I'm just used to doing the most. Like I always tell people, sometimes I do the most, and I might do the most just because I'm used to just doing the most. Yeah. But that doesn't change my feelings for you or my needs from you. And so I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. And, you know, being able to communicate that I think is important. You know, it may not be important to that other person, or they may not receive it the way I want them to receive it. But if they do, then great. If they don't, then there may be another conversation for another time.
Yeah, but sometimes you might be doing something like you two are going in a relationship together with the same stipulations, but something might happen, like life changes, life events happen where it changes their perception, their thought process, or how they felt about the stipulations going into it. Like I went to a relationship, I didn't want any kids. This is years ago when I'm in my 20s. Told her I didn't want any kids. We started dating for a while. She said that she wanted to have my babies. I'm like, this is weird. That's not on the table right there. That's completely no. I don't want any kids.
Right.
You know, had to end that one. You know, after a couple of months of her keep saying that. No, eventually if we get married, I want to have kids.
Her biological clock might have kicked in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not faulting her for that. I mean, I just wasn't in the car for me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dan, you made a great point. For full transparency, you know, back when we was on Blog Talk, I don't know if y'all remember, for a while there, you feel me, I wasn't even interested.
Yeah.
Like remotely, y'all know. For those who wasn't following us then, like I wasn't interested at all.
Yeah,
he was anti relationship.
Yeah, like I, you know, and it was everything. Like I didn't want the companionship. I didn't want
facts.
Nothing. You feel me? Leave me alone.
For context reasons, Clint or Smooth was the Thanos went to snap all relationship topics away.
That shit.
Yeah. I didn't even talk about relationships. It was like, and it wasn't nothing like I was scorned or anything like that. As you know, Willie kind of referenced it earlier. I was going through my own, you know, physical, you know what I mean, which led into a mental battle as well. You know, so when I did first start dating, it was crazy. And Dame said it best. So I just wanted companionship in the beginning.
Yeah.
You feel me? I had no intention. I had no expectation of anything further than that. I missed the companionship. So I was just seeking that out again. You know, fast forward to now, it's okay. It's like, all right, now I got intentions, but the way I go about it is, you know, I'm willing to take the long walk, so to speak. You feel me? So I'm not trying to rush into anything.
Facts.
But you feel me? I know whoever I'm going to be with for the long haul, we have to be friends first. So when I'm dating now, yes, I'm still looking for that companionship. You feel me? Because on them hard days, on them rough days, I still might need a friend.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I want her to be my friend first. Then from there, we can build everything else. You know what I mean? But
it's always the but.
I mean, yeah, it's because at this age, right? Like you said, we pushing 40. So at this age, a lot of times we're set in our ways. We have a lot of, emotional baggage, you know what I mean? Physical baggage, kids, whatever, you know what I mean? So you got to be ready and willing to accept all of that comes with it, both ways. You feel me? I got to be willing to accept whatever she coming with. And she got to be willing to accept whatever I'm coming with. And then, like, at this age, if you can't tell me, or you can't go into it with the mindset of, like, if I'm trying to date Sunny, I gotta understand she has a history before me.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And if I just jump in the picture, like, say I'm just meeting Sunny right now, and I just jump in the picture, I have to understand that I just jumped in the picture, and she has to understand that too. And I don't think a lot of people get that. Yeah. So in the beginning, it could be all cool because there's really no expectations. But when we start putting that expectation on it, then it's like, all right, well, now let me let you know what's going on over here a little bit more. You feel me? Yeah. And then you might she might have to have conversations with so-and-so and so-and-so over here. And I got to have conversations.
Yeah, because you got to, like, fix situations in some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I get you. So it's like at our age, it's different now. Because, like you said, we're dating. You feel me? So I can't go, especially if a woman's attractive, you can't expect it's not some other dude trying to, and vice versa for that woman. If he's available and he got something going, you can't expect that it's just going. You know what I mean? So those are things that I think need to be communicated better.
Yeah.
And I've learned that over the years. It took me a long time, but I think I got it.
Yeah. So one of the other topics that they mentioned.
Can I answer the question? You ain't let me answer the question.
Oh, I thought you answered. My bad.
No, I let y'all. I asked the question at the bottom so y'all can answer it. You fired. He's trying to kick me off. He already kicked me to the bottom. The last person. now he on bullshit. Let me find out you on bullshit, Willie. Nah. So I'm gonna say this. Like I said before, I'm not really looking to date people, right, or anyone. My problem is I date one person at a time and then I get stuck and then it doesn't work out. It's problematic, whatever. But I'm actually the reason I'm dating is to find to find that person, be it a long-term relationship and or marriage, right? If we don't get married, I mean, after so many years, we should be married. Like, I don't think that we need to be together for 45 years and then get married later. Like, we 80, it's too late, whatever. But I'm dating for a serious relationship and a total commitment, and if not marriage, right? How do I communicate that? I don't communicate that to people. Like, that's not the first conversation I'm having with you. Eventually, if we're going to be dating or dating exclusively or probably in a relationship, yes, then we're going to have that conversation of what are you long term? What does this look like? Am I just going to be a special friend in your obituary, or like what we doing? So I know to prepare myself because I need insurance policies. I need to be taken care of. I'm big on you having insurance and me being a beneficiary. I'm sorry. I just got to take care of.
But policy out on you. I don't know.
But I know in my experience, like I've said before, I have done the go as the flow, like go with the flow type of situation. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested. I know I've conflicted. Like sometimes my actions don't match my words. So I have been a person that said I don't want this and have done that, and now you like, and then I'm like, hey, I want a relationship. And they're like, no, but you said everything's cool, and I'm like, nah, I think I might love you. You might be mine. So we just got to work this out. Somehow we got to figure this out. So I'm trying to actively match my words to what I'm saying, and stand on like to what Willie said, stand on what I want, and not whether because I find myself conforming to more what the guy wants. And I get to the point where I'm proving my worth to him when I just am who I am. Like I'm the opposite of I'm the same like Willie. I do too much. I've been to wash your clothes, cook for you, and gave you girlfriend privileges, and we ain't even together. But like because I only date one person at a time. If I really like you, my love language is to take care of you. So I'm naturally going to do that. And then now you got the cow. So why buy the all that stuff.
Can I ask you a question? Because it's been a while since I've dated anybody. The way me and Jasmine got together, we didn't have this conversation of, all right, is it just me and you? We actually just monopolized each other's time. So it wasn't like something that was actually discussed
I've done
or
that.
talked
It didn't
about.
work out.
So it just ended up like, all right, it's just us. Me and her just kept, all right, when we're gonna hang out next? All right, just me and you. So she was busy with trying to go to school and work. I was just working, and after those times where it was just me and her. So I was just wondering if has anybody not had that conversation and it worked out for them, or
I mean, and I think that's the situations I've been in the past is where I didn't think what I didn't do is think about it from the standpoint Sonny's talking in terms of the woman being so, I won't say wrapped up, but being so good with what we were doing that she became exclusive to me. I never thought about it like that, but I did realize that, like you said, Dame, I was monopolizing her time, and that we were basically monopolizing each other's time to the point where that's all we did have, and that we were able to say, okay, you know what, this is moving in the right direction. So after a while, we end up to that point being able to have that conversation. But early on, like you said, we didn't have that conversation because it wasn't. I mean, to Sonny's point, I guess it wasn't a conversation that we felt like we had to have because maybe we didn't feel like we were, at that point yet. But then too, after a while, it became like, you know what, I'm not really out here dating anybody else, and I'm liking what I've got going on here. So maybe we should, talk about this and make it clear that we are together, that kind of thing. And I think that I believe that a lot of people fall into that where they monopolize each other's time to the point where they feel like, and I think that's where I think where I'm theorizing right now, where I theorize some women will also get into the point where they're like, hey, what are we doing? Because they are, making themselves exclusive to this guy. And now they're like, well, now it's been 3, 6, 12 months of me being exclusive to this guy. Where are we going with this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's it. And that's why I said I don't like, at this point, going with the flow is not an option for me because I've done that. I've successfully dealt with a guy. We were on the same page without verbalizing it, and it was like, okay, you got all my time, I got all your time. We might as well see if we can make it go at this, and it was that. And then I've also had the opposite where you want my time all the time, and you want me to be exclusive to you because you're monopolizing my time, but it's not reciprocated.
So right? I've been in all those
situations.
I've been in all those situations, and I'm still single, so obviously it has.
That's facts. That's what I'm getting at. That's why I said for me, it's not a go with the flow type situation. I need to be very clear. Are you just here to hump? or are you trying to be something? Because this is how I figure out how you get my time. Because if I just want to hump, I'm going to call you when I want to hump, and we're not going to talk any other time aside of that. If I'm trying to get to know you, then we can start spending some time. You're not going to monopolize all my time, but I'm going to give you some time. Like, hey, I'm free. What you doing? I might want to hang out with you or like that. But like, I had to learn that that's not.
And I think that goes along with intentions, right? And something that none of us have talked about, or none of us have done, is go into a dating situation and saying, hey, I'm only dating with the intention of being in a relationship and preparing myself for marriage. And I've talked to women and a couple of men who have said that that's what they're doing, and that they're not even entertaining dating situations that are going to lead nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Or that are not going to lead.
We about to be 40. I don't got time for that. If you just want somebody,
I got a question.
Go ahead.
And it's I guess it goes back to a post Sonny made in the joint conversation group.
Was it the one today?
Nah, this was about a month ago when you talked about when you asked me and Willie went ham on the stat when you asked me like, by the third date, do you know if you dated for marriage? And I was like, shit, by the third date, I'm still trying to remember their middle name. You know me? Yeah. So you know what I mean?
I remember that one.
So here's my issue with that going in, or I'm dating, I'm only dating to marry. Like how do y'all know? Because that's scary to me. You feel me?
It is scary.
You can't because you're gonna lose me.
Well, no, not to
lose me
say
by the third date. You talk about
here's how the logic works. No, but here's how the logic works. It's not saying that I'm dating you because I want you to marry me, right? If that happens, cool. But it's basically saying I'm dating you for a long-term relationship. Like this is what I'm dating for, the purpose of a long relationship and or marriage, right? So if you don't want to, if your stance is I don't ever want to get married, or I don't ever want to commit myself to a woman, and I want to be out here doing whatever the fuck I'm doing, then that's fine. I'm not for you. I'm not dating for the purpose of you have to marry me.
So, but let me say this though, because here's my issue. This is what my whole crux into that whole thing is. Dating is supposed to be strictly to get to know each other.
Facts.
You feel me? And to see if we vibe. Now, after some time, and you know, I'm not. You posted something in there, so somebody had posted something during the conversation, your group, and it was like, dude, strong shorty along for 7 years. I'm like, that's crazy. That's you know, she a fool for that. If
she sat there on 7 years and this was on dumb shit. But continue.
Yeah, you know what I mean. My thing is, we're dating and we're vibing, and we're getting to know each other, and we really got to know each other, and we finally had that conversation of commitment. You feel me? Like I'm not even to marriage yet.
Yeah, but commitment.
Yeah, you feel me? Like marriage is, we gotta, all right, boom. We've been dating, all right, we committed. Now we know it's just us. So we're going to see how this just us thing work first.
Facts.
Then we can talk about marriage.
And that's the part, and that's what we want to hear. It's not that when I date you on date 3, you want to marry me. We not going to. That's some niggas are like that. Not everybody's like that, and we're not expecting you to be like that. But that's the thing. Is basically
that's a red flag.
It's basically saying that you are open to be committed to someone, and a lot of people are scared of commitment alone. Not even marriage, just being committed. So if you're telling me that you're open to committing, like by saying that I want commitment and or marriage, that's why I'm dating. If you're on that page where you're looking for a commitment from a female, we match because we're on the same page. We're not dating just to be dating you, Rachel, the goddamn crew, and everybody else.
Just because we're on the same page doesn't mean we're made for each other.
No. That's not what you're saying.
That's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's just understanding that where your head is. You're open to commitment, where a lot of dudes are not open to commitment. They just want casual dating. They want whatever hookups and stuff like that. Like they don't want a commitment. But if you're saying you're open to commitment, that makes me feel like I'm not going to waste 6 months of my life. I may grow from our situation. We might not end up together, but I may learn and grow as a woman, and you may learn and grow, and we learn each other. And like at that point, we can part, and it could be fine, and move on and meet somebody else. But like the fact that you're open to a commitment is what we're looking for.
Right. Exactly.
Not wasting our time for 7 years, and then like, oh, I found Keisha, I'm gonna go with Keisha.
But most relationships got a shelf life. Like no matter how long term or short term it is, because you might be pursuing a dating, but how far are you going to take it? If both of you are on the same page, we're just going to date to see how far it goes. Then if it progresses,
y'all both wasting each other's time. That's what that is.
Yeah, basically you're just wasting each other's time. Because what if Sonny wants to?
Because it's companionship. It's not relationship.
If you're just doing it for companionship, but you want to be exclusive. That's between y'all two, but eventually somebody is going to get stale, and somebody's going to want something different because, like, maybe Smooth wants to take it to a next level and actually commit to marriage, and Sonny is like, no, I just want to be snuggled with you. Why do we have to get married? But everything evolves to a certain point where it's just going to stop.
Yeah. I mean, the part that where Sonny and I think Clint agreed at that point was it's about what your dating expectations are, not with that person, but with just the process of dating. And if your process of dating is I'm casually dating, if your process of dating is I'm casually dating, but I also want blah blah blah, or I'm dating with the intent of learning if I'm ready to be married and being able to be in a committed relationship, then not particularly with you, but if it happens, great. If it doesn't, great. So that's the mindset. That's the ideology. There is that what are our ultimate intention, and if you have no intentions, it's to weed those people out. Basically, to weed those people out.
Yeah, because a lot of people say they want things and they just want casual.
Yeah, and believe me, most people will immediately weed themselves out once you mention, hey, I'm dating with intent. If I'm dating with intent and I want to be married, then you'll get, half to 3/4 of those people will excuse themselves and say, oh, you know what? That's not for me. I want to casually date, or I'm just, I got, players in the game and players on the bench. You know what I'm saying? And, and that's what some people don't want, is to be dealing with a situation like that.
Well,
so that way they can move past that kind of stuff. So
yeah, but when most guys who aren't articulate will hear, I'm dating toward the intent of getting married one day or to a long-term relationship, they hear commitment and they out the door. They out the door.
And that's what
and
you
some
want.
Females are like that.
You're dating with intent. That's what you want.
Some females are like that. They don't want commitment. They just want a casual relationship. They just want whatever they want, and they don't want anything more than that, and that's fine. But like I said, it's the communication of what are you dating for, so that way I can know not to waste my time.
And that's perfect. Sonny just said it. Really, everything I was just about to say is how you approach the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You feel me? So like, Dame, I agree with you. If somebody is not what you do, or it's how you say it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know I say it all the time.
So
and when you say it,
yeah. So sometimes a dude or a woman, a person. Let's just stop saying it.
Person.
Y'all know I hate that. Y'all know I hate that. You feel me? So a person can feel pressure. You feel me? Early on, that they really did. They probably be feeling you or digging you. Because I've been in that situation where I'm really digging a female,
and that turned you off.
And too early. It was like too like. Sweetheart, you don't even know me that well yet. You feel me? Mm-hmm. We haven't even divulged our full selves to each other as we should before we get to that level. And you're already talking to me about how you want to do this, how we should be here, there.
But have you considered that that's why most females won't express their intentions verbally? And this is why a lot of females go with the flow and won't really make their intentions known. Not necessarily at the like
Well,
you said, too soon.
How about those women got to take responsibility?
That's true too.
Of vocalizing or communicating it in a better way.
That's true too. That's true. That's all facts. Like I said, sometimes people do it too early. I've had guys do it way too early, and it's like, what? Red flag. And for females to do it, it might be a red flag for you, and it could be off-putting to somebody. But sometimes with that person, it's just never going to be the right time. Because why? You're never trying to commit, and because you're not verbalizing that, and you're making her believe this fantasy that it's just only her and y'all gonna make it to the wind, ride it to shit to the wheels fall off. It's falsifying information and false advertising. You don't want the same thing she wants. So that's why sometimes I don't want to say first date, all this, like I'm not counting the date. So when it's appropriate to have a conversation, but you do need to have the conversation, because I don't like nobody needs to be wasting nobody's time. And that's why I say when people go on dating apps, you can see they're listing what they want. If I go to a profile and the guy likes me and I swipe right and it says we match, I'm looking at what his thing says. Okay, so you want casual? I don't want that. So this is a no-go for me. I'm not even about to inbox you. There's no conversation that needs to be had with us, because we already know that you're not on the same type of time as me. And that's cool. I'm not going to hate you for that. I'd rather a guy be real direct with me versus string me along. Tell me, listen, baby, this ain't what I want. I want this, this, and this. And that's fine. I don't want that. Keep it pushing.
All right, can I ask y'all a question?
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all ever been in a situation to where when y'all dating, because we talking about the pitfalls, I'm gonna get to the pitfalls, so where you're dating someone, y'all really both y'all here, you know what I mean? Like y'all, there's the communication is perfect, y'all vibing, y'all know what y'all want, you feel me? Y'all intent is for the long haul, but life happened.
Yeah,
you feel me? Maybe something on your end may went haywire in your life, because unforeseen occurrences befalls us all. You feel me? It can happen at any moment. Unforeseen occurrences befalls us all. So have y'all ever been in a situation, whether it was you or the other person or both of y'all at the same time, which can sometimes happen, and it just blew your situation up?
That goes, I mean, you gotta think this whole pandemic messed up my engagement, right? We already were facing a challenge of being in a long distance relationship, right? And having to sorry, I'm trying to write the question while I'm answering it. Mm-hmm. So let me make sure I do this real quick.
Let me answer mine first, then.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
What was the question? No.
Oh my God.
No, but no, that goes right along with Sonny's question about having the past relationships. Have you ever had a situation where you thought about you wish you could have back, or you've been in? I've been in one where me and a girl, we matched. I mean, we was joking with each other. Who knows what it would have been if she didn't have somebody that was local and I was living in Michigan. We talked on the phone every day, blah, blah, blah. And she ended up getting knocked up by this other dude that was a notorious drug dealer. So now she got 3 kids by him, and I got 3 kids up here in Michigan.
So for me, the situation was the pandemic, right? So we were already facing the challenge of dealing with being in a long distance relationship, living over 1,000 miles away from each other, having to figure out how to travel back and forth, having to figure out how to, make time and schedules and all that kind of thing so that we could spend time together. So we could, have some time together. In the meantime, doing the back and forth with, telephone, FaceTime, and texting or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Trying to navigate those options for building that relationship. And we did a good job early on building a relationship with the phone calls and texting and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually having more time to be with each other, going back and forth, doing traveling. But then the pandemic happened, right? And like you said, unforeseen circumstances, things that you just can't predict. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you did predict it, you may not feel like it could happen, right? It's like, oh, you can lose your job. And I did. I lost my job at one point and had to get a new job. So that changed how much availability that I had, right? And then, I finally got into a secure job again where I was able to make more time, but then the pandemic happened, and then that caused another, stoppage in being able to spend time. And I got to the point where it was like, man, I hate being in a relationship and being lonely at the same time. Missing that companionship part, which is something that I didn't realize that I didn't properly prioritize, right? And that's going to go into our next question. But being able to properly prioritize your needs, right? And that was something that I didn't realize that I needed more of than I thought. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it became a big crux in our relationship, and I finally decided to break the relationship off between her inability to travel and my inability to travel, and then having those kind of feelings. And she had actually expressed those feelings earlier on, just from our already tight or restricted traveling schedule, and then not to be able to travel at all. It just fell apart.
Yeah, I think for me it was a life event that happened, and everybody knows I'm an oversharer. So I communicated to him the situation, which I felt like he needed to know because, right, we were dating and we had been dating for a year and some change. So, I was telling him that the situation has now changed. I'm uncomfortable with a certain situation. So let's try to work around it and do this. Like this is what's going on. So I need to change in how things happen now. And I felt like he wasn't, like he was a nice person, but I felt like he didn't
reciprocate.
No support.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't like I was asking for anything extra. I was asking for so I'm gonna kind of be direct. So it was me going to his house a lot and him coming over to my house, right? So I would go over there more often, not because I want to escape my children. So when I could, I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm going over there. And the situation happened where it was a severe situation and we needed to change that. So now you need to come this way more until I'm comfortable with being able to be away from my house at this point, because this serious event happened and I need to be very vigilant. And I felt like in that need of support, you lacked. So it was a time period where you didn't come this way. It was like an odd way of communicating and stuff like that. And it's like, listen, I'm not asking much of you. You're one person coming this way. It's not like it couldn't happen. Like it was just, a shift in how things are done now. Like now you're over here more than whereas versus it was me over there more. And I felt like you weren't participating in that or you weren't supportive of that. And it was like this drawn out thing. And then I finally, it was to the point where we didn't have the conversation face to face. It was a text message or a phone conversation. And I don't like that. Like, I feel like certain conversations just need to be had in person, but even that wasn't allowed to be in person because it would have been strung out. Like you weren't initiating it.
So basically the relationship became one-sided. Like
and I'm like, I just needed you. Like it wasn't long-term solution. It was a solution until we can rectify the situation. And I felt like you didn't support the situation and it was a problem for me. So at that point, if you're not going to support me during a situation that is important to the extreme that this was, you weren't accommodating, I have a problem with that because I'm not asking you much and you wouldn't even budge. So we have a problem there.
Yeah. And so this goes into our next topic is prioritizing the wrong things or incorrectly prioritizing things. I should make that the thing too, is that I think that a lot of times people, and we all know, we've seen that in social media, we've seen it on TV, we've seen it with our friends, that people a lot of times will prioritize the wrong things for a relationship. You have some people who will prioritize, gift giving and gift receiving, who might prioritize being able to go out more than anything else, or may prioritize their needs for a particular status versus, prioritizing the need to get to know each other first, right? Because you have some people, I literally just had this conversation with a friend of mine, is that like they've seen some of their friends prioritize getting married over prioritizing getting a good mate. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy because that should beget the other, but they
But
flip
listen,
it
people
because
just trying to get married because
they're
everybody getting
priority,
married
right?
now.
They're so stuck on I need to get married versus you need to find a good mate. So, you know, what's your thoughts on prioritization and how do you prioritize correctly what you need?
Can I go first? Just because I just want to go first. I don't know. I feel like for me, prioritizing for me is my kids always first. You're below them. Unless we're in a relationship and they're like relationship, like serious relationship, and we're committed and stuff like that, then it's gonna be a change to an extent, right? Very mindful of that. But I'm not going to sacrifice my kids over you. Like you won't come if we're dating, you're not coming before my kids. I need to make sure they're good before I can hang out with you. You're not over them. I definitely will make time for you. I'll spend them a lot of like not a lot of, but I'll make sure that you don't feel like it's an issue because I feel like if you have kids, I want you to prioritize your kids over me. I don't want you leaving your kids by the wayside because you want to spend time with me. No, spend time with them. We'll make time for me. It's not that deep for me. Like kids for me, if me and Smooth were dating, his daughter's before me. I'm not expecting him to be like he has to stop. He can't pick his daughter up for practice and do stuff with her because he has to do stuff with me. It's not that like we need at this point we both got kids. Let's do stuff with the kids can together. Or you could do stuff with your daughter, and then I'll see you when you're done. It's never going to be where I'm making him choose between me and his daughter, or their needs, or stuff like that. Where we're going to be mindful of us still spending time, but not making him choose me over his daughter, or him making me choose over my kids over him. That's never a priority. Paying my bills and stuff like that, and making sure my household is maintained is definitely a priority on my list, but like I said, I'm doing those things and understanding that he understands that I understand the role I'm in. Like what I'm accept because what I'm going to do, I expect of you, not to the same situation, but like similar. Like I said, I'm never going to make him choose between his kids. I'm never going to make him take me on a date and he drive his car every day to pick people up, but I'm making him waste gas on me for unproductive shit. And I'm not thinking about because he got to make money every day and take care of his responsibilities, those types of things. So like, I'm a big person of priorities. And if your priority's not in order, we can't even date because I don't got time for you to be going through the shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm maybe in my house 1 week. I don't know what's going on with this situation. Like, we don't got that. I need you to have your place together because you can't stay with me. Like, get your shit together because I'm not a take care of no grown ass person. And I will be the same type of parent I am to my child. I'm going to be to your child, but not understanding that I'm not that child's mom.
Right.
I'm not trying to replace them. I'm not trying to do none of those things. I'm not going to make you like me. You're either going to like me or you're not going to like me. But I'm likable to most kids. It's very rare that kids don't like me because I'm not forcing you to like me. I'm just going to be me. And if you're going to like me, we're going to rock and we're going to be cool. But I'm never going to make you feel like your dad's choosing me.
We got it. Got it. Let's move to Dame.
I prioritize too much my last relationship of her over me. I put her ahead of me a lot of times because I felt I knew me, but maybe she didn't get the chance to know me because I'm putting her first or her needs first. If you know what I'm saying. And I think some people, I want to say a lot of women, this time Smooth on purpose, because they like to use that old color purple. I was married now. They like that old just to say I'm married. I got me a husband situation. There's a lot of people out there like that. Not just women, because some men out there like, yeah, I got me a wife. But do you know this person? How well do you know this person that you're marrying, that you're supposed mate?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Smooth.
So I didn't get a chance to. I got a chance to know her very well. I got the chance to know her people very well. So I already knew as we were going through our breakup how I was going to be perceived and talked about. because I'm a very observant person. I see how they talk about other people. You know, when I was in the clique, I was in the circle of, the good circle, with the family. I like, yeah, I see how this is gonna play out. So I cut all ties with her family altogether.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Smooth.
It's a hell of a question. Just a hell of a question. Uh, damn. I'm sitting here listening to them, and I'm still sitting there like prioritizing the wrong things or incorrectly prioritizing the things you need. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done that multiple times. Similar into what the vein of what Dane was just talking about, putting her needs and wants ahead of mine, and that led to resentment. You feel
Good
me?
point.
Because it builds a false foundation. So and expectation, because now trying to secure the relationship, putting her needs and wants first, it sets a bad tone because that's what she expect all the time. You feel me? And my needs became sex. So that's where that resentment came in. Also, not prioritizing communicate. That's my thing, communication. So not prioritizing proper communication and understanding. It's been plenty of relationships to where we talk. Y'all know I love a woman who can talk. You know what I mean? So, but just because we're talking to each other, we're not gaining any understanding. So I think I didn't prioritize that enough, I should say. Gaining understanding to where, how can I put it, man? Damn, that's a good question. Like say you know how somebody move. Well, you think you know how somebody move. You think you know what they like. You think, but you don't really know. You don't really understand that person, and that came from a lack of proper communication. So I didn't prioritize that enough in my estimation.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. And like I said, that was the mistake I made, was not prioritizing properly a couple of the things that I needed. And I've definitely done what Dame said, prioritizing that person over me.
I've done that millions of times.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do that because you at the time you may feel like that's the right thing to do. And I know a lot of men do that out of wanting to understand the woman better, where a lot of women will do it out of trying to give that man the ability to be maybe in that dominating position, or maybe she, like Sonny was saying, going with the flow, or maybe there's a lot of different reasons why we do that, why we prioritize that person above us. And it's important for us to realize that that's should be secondary, that we need to keep in mind what our needs are. And I think that will help us or help the relationship in the long run, because if you prioritize yourself and then you realize, oh, I need this to be happy, or I need that to be satisfied, or I need this to be good with this relationship. Once you prioritize yourself and prioritize your needs, then you can better explain, express, or demand what you want out of a relationship. Because if you're not doing that, like Smooth said, you're either going to have the resentment, or you're going to feel the inadequacies in that relationship because you're doing so much for that person. Like Sonny felt like there was inadequacies in that relationship because of the fact that the priority wasn't there for what she needed. And it maybe, maybe not what happened with her, but it maybe could have been her prioritizing him at first, and then now that she's prioritizing herself, unfortunately, it's too late. He's already now taken advantage, or now used to being the priority. He may have felt like, oh well, you were doing this for me before. Why do we need to change?
Yeah.
I like it this way. You know,
it has to be a balance.
Himself, like, hey, I don't want to change what we're doing because it best suits my needs. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
it has to be a balance though, because if you're working on yourself and prioritizing yourself, your need, and you're telling the person that you're dating your need. Stop it. You're telling the person that you're with your needs, and they're reciprocating it, and you're reciprocating each other's needs. You can get that vibe going early, and y'all can have a mutual respect for each other and relationship in the long run. Now, all this high end playing games and trying to, see, like Sonny said, some people just want to smash, but they trying to say they want to be in a relationship. That's just pointless. That's wasting your time.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real for a second, because
I wanted to say something before you keep it real.
You better do it right now.
Can I say something before you keep it real?
Go ahead.
I think that a part of me, I think for me, I always think about the men, because I feel like I'm more of it's weird. So, how I just posted something about how men need to be worried, be having a relationship, stuff like that. And they need to be feel wanted, feel appreciated, and things like that. Right. So me knowing that, right, that's how I am. It's like, I want you to feel like I'm going to randomly say, you look cute today. Like, you look handsome today, like that. So that's I feel like I was doing too much because I want to take care of you. And I'm also giving you affirmation, so you feel appreciated and stuff like that. And then forgetting that I need that back. So I was in reverse in a situation. I was giving out I was pouring that into you, but you weren't. But for the most part, not all my relationships, but some of them weren't pouring it back into me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it was the opposite for me. So where, how some men don't feel appreciated, some men don't feel this way. It's like I got to the point where I was the man in the relationship, and in that aspect, and I was always saying, hey, well, you look nice. Oh, okay. Make sure you were taken care of, and you weren't, and he wasn't making sure I was taken care of. So I think that that's the thing too. It's self-care of making sure you're okay to be able to be there for somebody.
Yeah.
I think that we lose that priority of taking care of self. Continue.
So did everybody answer this question now? I don't want to move on before. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Sex. Because we totally skipped over that.
Yeah.
I guess we try to be too deep, but let's basic cardinal instincts. A lot of times we prioritize sex.
Yeah, I misdirect that
over the wrong things. You feel me? We done dealt with people longer than we should have because of the sex. Mm-hmm. Dating the wrong person because of the sex. You feel me? So I think we all been there at some point in our lives to where sex came into the equation a little too high, and in certain situations a little too low.
Right.
Sex to get you dealing with an ain't shit person real quick, and no, because this is the best sex I've had in my life. They ain't shit, but I ain't had nothing more than that. So I understand that I have been a perpetrator of saying I don't want you to sexualize me, but the first date was a good vibe, and I done gave you the cheeks, and now I'm over here no, I want a relationship. And you're like, no, we just humped the first date. So I don't even know why you trying to be in a relationship right now. Right. What you mean? What we doing? Because we did that the first night, and now you talking about something you want more. Nah, because sir, it was the vibe. And that's why I said my situation was, and not all the time, but it was, my situation was, if the vibe was right, I'm one of them people. So if it's the vibe is right and everything flowing, whatever happens. But see, this is the problem I have. I have to rebut this. Listen, sir, we're not about to have sex every time you come over here, or I hang out with you. If we go out to eat and hang out and go to the movie stuff, we're not coming back to have sex. See what happened by default. That first day, it was amazing. And I just felt like you needed some ass, so I just gave you something. Now I don't want that all the time. So, and I know that's conflicting because that's not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, Now we done smack cheeks, and now you're just like, no, we fucking. I'm like, no, I don't want to just do that. So I have been a perpetrator of that because it was the bomb.com. Now I'm like, let's just be in a relationship at this point. Like, let's figure this out, and it's not gonna go that way. So now I'm sad.
Well, I mean, I've been guilty of letting the idea of sex or the sex itself cloud my judgment and allow me to stay in a situation, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I really don't want to be in this situation, but the sex is good, so I'm just gonna stick around for it. That's been my issue, especially because if I don't have if I don't have nobody on the bench and you are the only one in the game, and everybody, I'm definitely
my
not
problem
about to
is
let it go.
recycling. Like, if it's good, I'm going back. Like, I'm single. Let me
Definitely.
Back in
Double
69,
back.
he was the best, so I got to go over there back to see what he's doing. He done blew my ass, and I got to call him up.
Right.
So, I'm with that right now.
Isn't all this supposed to be in the private chat? What's going on, folks?
Dame started it. I'm just messing with Dame because Dame about to have a heart attack. So
right. But yeah, I mean, I think Smooth, to your point, there's also times when people deprioritize sex and try to downplay the needs, and then they wonder why later on that they're not getting their needs met.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I've
like, you over there having the best sex of life. This nigga ain't shit and he ain't never gonna be shit. And this girl ain't shit and she ain't never gonna be shit. You're like, listen, but she sucked dick and me. Like, listen, let me tell you something. This bitch blew on me and like, I love her like a little bit, but not really.
Like a little bit, but not really.
Now you make that comment.
We in the after show. I'm just saying, I'm being honest. I don't know what y'all been, but I'm being honest.
Now I heard this on the radio. I was listening to the radio this morning, and this guy wants to move in with his best friend who's a female. She wants to buy something, but he's like, hey, why don't we buy a house together?
He's trying to smack them cheeks.
Now she said that he has a girlfriend. I'm like,
ain't gonna let him move in with no female.
And she said she was okay with it.
Shot at him, B.
No, she said she was okay with it. The girlfriend. I'm like,
she's stupid.
Okay, the
maybe she like
girlfriend's
girls
stupid.
too.
Like, the girlfriend's stupid. He just want to smash his best friend and move in a house with
him out the shower.
Oh, like oops, it just happened. Situation.
Like, she fell on my dick. I don't even know what happened, ma'am. I don't know. She got in the shower and she tripped, and my dick was there waiting for her. So shit happened.
Willie, you had another question?
I've had pussy fall on me before. It just happened.
You know what, Willie?
hey, we all been there.
See, what happened was, it wasn't me. So what happened was a massage turned. This is why I say people like, oh, I'm gonna give you a massage. No, you can't give me a massage because massage ended up to butt cheek spread and shit's going down.
I've been set up like that.
I've been set up. It ain't even know I was set up until it was like,
I know what it is. When they ask to give a massage, I know what's happening.
I'm tripped and falling in the pussy trying to give a massage. Like,
and I will text you and be like,
how did I get
massages
here?
End up to butt cheeks spread apart, and somehow life is over. Like, shit is happening.
I had to use the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, came back out. She butt naked. Like, what's going on? I have no clue what was going on.
So you participated. You like, oh, well, she naked.
I need one of those.
I waste pussy on this one. She already naked. Like, am I gonna go home or get some? I'm not going
home. Here. I'm sorry.
Just like an eagle, so I got to be a part of that.
Willie, did you have another question? Because we're in the after show, and I wanted to.
Well, I'm gonna gloss through these last three. Then I'm gonna gloss through these because we already touched on a couple of them already, kind of. So the one of the other ones was being too superficial when dating. So again, that's kind of like the prioritization thing too. It's like prioritizing maybe how you look over what your needs are. Prioritizing getting certain gifts and getting certain things done in a relationship versus prioritizing the relationship or working towards a real relationship, that kind of thing. A lot of times we've seen these arguments happening online where people are saying, men are like, well, women just want somebody to pay their bills, and women are like, guys just want to have sex and don't want to do nothing to get it, So, being too superficial about, what we're dating for and why we're dating. Another one was setting the false expectations, using things like Instagram, Facebook, celebrities to give us these ideas of what a relationship looks like, all these relationship goals, right? That we know a lot of times are either done are either at that point because of the work they put in, or they're falsifying information because they're doing it all for show, right? Like, oh, they make it look like their relationship is so great on social media, but then you go like a month or two later and they're getting a divorce, or they're blowing up each other on the same on an IG live because they can't stand each other. And then the final one was ignoring too many red flags. So I think
we do that, and that's somebody. I saw a post, and somebody said we see the red flags at the very beginning, and we make excuses because we start liking them, or we start liking them and or falling in love with them. So no matter, like you can see, like I've known chicks that saw messages and phones, saw this dude talking to another female, like all willy nilly, up to current. Y'all been dating for like 5 weeks or 2 months, and you see that he's still currently, from before y'all was dating up until current, still texting this female, and he telling you oh no, it ain't about nothing. It ain't, like, and you saw the red flags, and then you keep seeing nonsense, and you're justifying because you're like, oh well, why you find out things? Why when you in it you find out things and you don't know what to do. You know what to do. You saw the red flags, and you make. I've been a person of that. I've seen red flags myself early at the beginning, and it's like I ignore them, and then them same red flags be the reason why you're not together.
We just hopped on the topic real quick because outside of what's Sunny, obviously, that's obviously red flags right there. But what are, you feel me, these red flags to y'all? Because I believe, what may be a red flag for Willie may not be a red flag for me.
Exactly. I was about to say it's subjective.
It depends.
It's very subjective. And to me, a red flag will be something that goes against your relationship needs. Like in my situation where, I may have needed a woman that could vocalize and verbalize her needs, and then end up with a woman who doesn't know how to do that, and not only doesn't know how, but doesn't want to, right? That feels like she doesn't have to. If I ignore that because I'm like, oh well, I can get over that. I'll just, I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I really like her, or she got a big booty, or whatever the case may be. I'm ignoring it because I'm trying to deprioritize that thing that I need. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times those are the bigger red flags. Things that are definitely going to kill a relationship. That's obvious red flags. And if you are ignoring those, you got a problem. But it's a lot of times the things that we don't put enough emphasis on is the things that really fit our needs or expectations. Like if I say, hey, I'm dating with the intent of being married, but then I get with a bunch of women that want to casually date, that's a big red flag, right? That it's going against what I want.
And that's even like to something. I had a conversation with a guy who liked me, wanted to date me, whatever. And we had conversations prior to this about him wanting more kids, right? I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want any more kids. You want more kids. I have absolutely no interest in having them. I'm actually talking to my doctor about clip, snip, burning these, take the fallopian tubes, take all this shit. I don't need none of it. Like, I don't want none of this shit no more. But I know that you want kids. I don't want them. You're still trying to date me. Why? I'm going to waste your time because later on down the line, you're going to want kids. And I've already had clip, snip, dyed, burnt, and done up. I'm sorry. Nothing's happening over here. And you're mad at me and resenting me because I don't want any more kids. But we've already said that I don't want kids. So if I date you, that's a big red flag. We're not on the same page.
But could that be a compromise that he is willing to take? That
he's not. Because if you like for this particular person to get your first kid, we had this conversation about you getting your first kid and the devastation of you not being able to have a second child with the person that you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with. That's why the situation broke up. Mm-hmm. So if you're meeting me and I'm like, yeah, I don't want none, and you really want one, and I really don't.
I don't believe. I never believe anybody who says I'll compromise and not have a kid when they initially say they really want a kid. If you come into a relationship or a situation and you say, you know what, I want to have a family, and that includes me having my own kids. I want to kid with you. Or I want to adopt, or whatever the case may be. if anybody walks into a relationship and they say that, and then you tell them, well, I don't want that, and then they say, oh, I'll compromise. Don't believe
It's a lie.
Just don't. It's lies.
It's a red flag.
Lies.
So
because it's going to come back to bite you at the end, and that's why I said, like, it doesn't have to be a cheating red flag, but it's a red flag in itself. Like
that's one of the biggest ones.
And here's
a Gemini is a red flag.
Here's the thing. Red flags and dating, right? Here's the situation. I can tell Willie something about a young lady I'm dating, and Willie may be like, and Willie may be like,
not dating.
That's a red flag, right? That's a red flag, bro. And I'm like, bro, well, she ain't have to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? She kept it G with me. So in my mind, because you know how much I respect honesty.
Yeah.
And I respect the truth. It's like, I say I want honesty. I say I want truth.
And now she giving it to you.
She's giving it to me. I can handle whatever that truth was.
Mm.
You feel me? Mm. Now, that's why I asked. That's why I frame my, because yeah, that may be a red flag to Willie, but then when I frame it in that context, like,
it's not a red flag for you.
It's not a red flag for me.
But and that's why it's a subjective situation. Like I said, to you, somebody saying that they don't want kids is not a red flag for you. But for Willie, who may want more kids, that's a red flag for him.
I never put my
the same, like, and it's subjective to that. Like, it's subjective to that because, like I said, we've been, and like, you're not even going to the meat and potatoes of why this person doesn't want to have kids. Just surface. I don't want no more. Right. Like he, to his point, you saying you're okay with it is a fucking lie. Period. It's like and then for me, it's a red flag because you're not standing on, like he said, you're not standing on your foundation. Yeah. You really want a kid. You're telling me you're going to sacrifice that to be with me, and at the end you're going to resent me. It's the same reason why a lot of relationships are having issues, because it's a resentment of you accepting something but not really accepting something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're lying to yourself, and then
you lying to yourself because your priorities are out of order. You're not worried about yourself. You're worried. You're conforming to what they want.
And then sometimes it's ego. It's ego because I'd be like, you know what, I could change her mind.
Exactly. I was about to say that. I think that's
what a lot of females, and like this is what we say. We go back to this with females. A lot of females date to change a person. Oh, I'm gonna make him be this person. You can't make him be anything. He's gonna be exactly who the fuck he is, and you can't change this man to be what he wants. He's only gonna change unless he wants to change, and he sees a conflict in how he wants to better himself. This is why they say sometimes men are not good for certain people. The right person they're gonna conform to because that's who they want. Like, so you might be more compromising versus with Tika, who you've been fucking for 7 years. You don't really want to be with her. You're not going to conform to nothing she wants because you ain't seen her nothing other than as a.
That goes both ways. That goes both ways.
It does. It does. But that's why. But that's more to my point. Yeah. It's the ideal of changing somebody that you can't change a person that doesn't want to be changed.
That and people
and that's why resentment is like a big situation in a lot of relationships, because you're resentful because you want this person to be this certain way and they're not going to be that way. They're them.
What you was about to say,
that and we had a show about this a long time ago where people date potential. They date the potential in that person.
I used to date potential.
And that's disastrous because what if that person's not ready to, like, 10 years down the line? You're wasting your time. You're wasting their time. They can be off doing something better. You can be doing off something better. You could be, you're probably much more ahead of the game than that person is.
Yeah, and you end up pulling yourself down, or you end up, like you said,
resenting
off the box, and you're feeling like, you know what, I can't deal with this now, but it's been 10 years, now you wasted all that time. Yeah. All right, go ahead. What's the after show topic, Smooth?
200 mass shootings already. Over 200 mass shootings already in the United States. Everybody know me. I'm
a gun person.
I'm a gun person. I'm a proud gun owner legally. I just went and bought me another one.
I'm about to go to gun. Let's go to the gun range. I want to learn how to shoot.
I take it.
Date night.
Yeah, I just went a couple weeks ago, got me a new one. Now listen, here's I remember when I first got my gun permit, right? And a lady, the officer, was a woman, and she was like, because in Jersey, every state different. So in Jersey, that you get your gun permit and you can go buy rifles, shotguns, and all that, right? At any time. But you have to get a purchaser's permit to get a handgun. And you got to do that like I think you only buy like one a month or something like that. Or, you know what I mean? They might have changed it to every 3 months. But I remember her saying, she was like, yeah, this right here, the handgun purchase permit, this runs out in 3 months. But that one, you can go buy you a SK, AK, HK, anytime you want. You feel me? These are semi-automatic rifles that these people are using in these mass shootings.
Right.
You feel me? Now, I remember when I went and first got my very first own gun legal. You feel me? I bought me a shotgun. Home defense. That was my first thing. I'm gonna get me this shotgun. And I'm looking at the ARs and I'm looking at the magazines and the dude in the gun shop showing them to me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I ain't really beefing with, I ain't living.
Not beefing with an army.
Yeah, like I'm not in these streets like that. I only got to worry about those issues. You feel me? That's why I could come in here and buy my shit legally. You feel me? You feel me? My shit is for protection. You know what I mean? And if I need to protect myself from an army, then I'm already lost. I already lost.
Right.
So my question to y'all is, because a lot of these shootings, and be clear to the people out there, always be like, all these white people do all these mass shootings. These drive-by shootings is classified that we do in the hood as mass shootings.
It's still mass shooting.
Now, I mean, black people, we do it just as much, if probably not more, than white folks. So get it together. You feel me? My question is, because they use mental health, and then some people be like, that's a cop-out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm conflicted because, like, I've been around guns my whole life, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not out here, you know what I mean, like thinking I'm at the OK Corral and just the wild, wild west trying to shoot up everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think mental health does have something to do with it. But how do y'all feel? Stricter gun laws, mental health. How do y'all think
Can I get tagged? Go ahead.
What's the question? I want to make sure we're clear on the question.
Yeah. How do you think we should approach this epidemic, man? Like, I don't understand why they won't just say it.
Right.
This is an epidemic in this country with these mass shootings. Is it gun laws? Is it mental health? Is it a combination of things? Where do y'all stand on how we should initially address it?
It's both. It's both. Why do we have to pick one or the other? They go hand in hand. You make it easier for these people who are emotionally, mentally disturbed to get guns. Now in Texas, after this shooting that happened in Texas, that everybody so up in arms and thoughts and prayers about a couple of weeks ago, they lowered their gun age for you to get a gun now. You're making it easier for them. They can't vote, but they can get a gun. They can't drink, but they can get a gun. Make it harder for them to get guns. I mean, I'm not saying abolish guns. When some people say that gun restrictions, gun reform, they're trying to take away our guns. I'm not saying that. Just make it harder for some of these people, or make it impossible for certain people to get guns. That's all I'm saying. But mental health is, they used to have mental hospitals and strict guidelines on people with mental health who actively want to commit suicide or do bodily harm to somebody else. But now it's like after so many hours, after nothing happens, the hospitals have to let them out. My wife works at one.
Yeah.
They have to after you show no signs or whatever for 48 to 72 hours.
But like you said, which is hours.
hours, not days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Here's what
days, but
Oh,
just why does it have to be? But why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't they fix two problems at the same time and do something rather than nothing? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, "Oh, thoughts and prayers, hearts go out to these families, and we want something to happen." Then 3 months later, another shooting happens. Thoughts and prayers, same old BS.
Yeah, here's what I think about that. Like, so it's a combination of both, right? But here's the situation. Like you said, in New Jersey, you're able to buy those types of firearms. Why? Are you hunting? You could just buy them, right? It's not that you have to explain, oh, I'm going hunting, this is why I'm buying this gun. You're just buying shit like that, right? It's just weird to me. Like, what do you need that for? Like, you're not a collector. You're just getting guns because that's what they can offer you, right? But they make a requirement for handguns. Why not make a requirement for these types of guns? I'm all for being able to protect yourself and stuff like that, and you having a gun license, stuff like that. And the mental illness part, they have those things to check whether or not you can get them. But at the same time, it's like this. My mother was a functioning mental patient. She could talk to you and you wouldn't even know she was crazy, and not unless she was going through one of the situations or the meltdowns or one of the manic stages she was going through. She was a functioning person with paperwork. So if she got locked up, she can claim insanity and be fine because of her paperwork, right? But if you claim you met my mom, you wouldn't know that if you had met her, right? You just think, hey, she's cool. She blah, blah, blah. She was crazy. Love her dearly, but that's just what it was. It's a lot of people out here with mental illnesses that function like normal folks that can pass these tests and get these things. You're not checking for anything. Let's take it a step further. I'm epileptic, right? I shouldn't have a license because I've had a seizure in a certain amount of years where I shouldn't have a license. If I go to motor vehicles right now and pass the license test, they'll give me my license and let me drive. They haven't checked with my doctor to see whether I'm capable of driving. I would have to offer that voluntarily. That's where I'm getting at. The same way you have military where you have to be evaluated and shit like that, I think you should be evaluated when you buying these guns to that standard of military grade that you have to pass the mental exam before you can purchase a gun. Because as a domestic violence person, I have a legal right to go and get my license to carry a firearm. You don't know if I'm crazy. You don't know if I'm suffering from bipolarness and all these other things. But because I'm just a domestic violence survivor, you can pass me paperwork and say you can go get your license to protect yourself because now your life may be in danger, right? I can go get it. You don't know if I'm crazy. Nobody has checked it. I can go to the gun place and show them my license that I got and go get a gun, but they don't even know if I'm crazy. You want to verify my ID is good. You want to verify this, that, and the third. But if I have a criminal background, what if I wiped it? Because I was a minor and I was out here just acting up. And as an adult, now I don't have any record because I'm smart enough to not have a record. And now you gave me a gun and I could go gun happy and go live my life, my best life. That's the issue that I have.
Right.
Get these stricter gun laws. Have some communication. Like you should, I think, not even violating HIPAA, but the same way you have certain stuff to track COVID, STDs, AIDS, and shit like that, you need to be checking mental illnesses as far as guns are concerned and weapons are concerned and things like that. And you should be evaluated to be evaluated further to see if you can own a gun. But they're not doing that. Unless it's volunteered, what are you doing as a gun seller to make sure I'm okay? Because even at teens, some of these mental illnesses don't present until you're in late teenage or early adulthood.
So this is my thing. I agree with both of y'all about the combination of things that need to be done. I definitely agree with that. I think the concern, there's two concerns that I have. There's one concern and there's one understanding that I have. The one concern I have is that I think, trying to detect mental health issues, trying to detect in a background check if a person is going to be criminally or going to criminalize their weapon, it's too hard, because a lot of times you look at these mass shooting situations. A lot of times these people are sane. They're just like anybody else. They're not going to fail a mental health check. They're not going to fail a background check either, because they've never committed crimes or haven't committed serious crimes recently. And a lot of times this is their first crime. So I think that's one of the hard things. So that's why I think that there's an extreme need for better gun control. The other problem, I think, though, is the understanding that I have is that, we're almost 300 years into gun freedom, right? 300 years, not 300, not a couple of decades, not a century, 300 years. So you're talking about, how do you take a radical gun control law and apply it to a country where we've had such a huge open market on guns, that you now have a mismatch in the firearms? They've militarized police because they wanted the police to have a better chance at fighting off gangs, individual citizens, things like that, because there's been this open market where we've been allowed as private citizens to buy militarized weapons. Also trying to take guns away from people, a right that people have not only exercised, but they what's the word, they protested for, they died for hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So now they feel like it's an unalienable right, something that you can't take from them, right? So when you have that type of combination of things in a country, it makes it more challenging to convince people, right? Because a lot of, you talk to a lot of either strict gun owners or strict gun rights people who feel like any attempt to take their guns away because of the actions of others is a direct violation of their personal human rights. You know what I'm saying? And their right to protect themselves. And a government that's always been suspect. I've seen posts where people have even insinuated that the government is creating these mass shootings in hopes of steering the public into allowing them to restrict guns and gun rights. So I think that's one of the problems we're facing here, is that how do you convince the general public that it's in their best interest and that it's in the interest of public safety that we quell this influx of guns, or that we quell. But I think that there are options here. There's a lot of options. There's the fact that hunting and self-protection, there should be restrictions placed on those things, and being able to say, that you need, military grade weapons and high capacity weapons as a means of protection or as a means of hunting is absurd and ludicrous.
No, but that's hunting is fine. It's just
that's not even hunting. What's her name? Lenise even said, why do you need to shoot so many Bambis at once? You got a gun that can shoot 50 rounds of ammo in 12 seconds. That's problematic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I don't have a problem with hunting. I have a problem with
every bad shooter can say I'm hunting.
Me getting my license, and I'm able to buy these types of weapons for what? I ain't going hunting. You see my color? Yeah. I ain't about to do all that. So
there's black hunters out there, but the thing is that I think that there needs to be this sliding scale of need versus availability, because people are buying this stuff because it's available. It's not because they need it, it's because it's available. No. Because they have that option.
And if it's easier to buy that than a handgun, why not? Because if you got to go do what he said every 3 months, I'm gonna go buy an AR-15. Y'all gonna give me one? I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. No. Let me give y'all some.
Go ahead.
Let me give you some info real quick. So this is an article written by the BBC.com. I should have shared. I should have sent it to
Willie.
To Willie, so he could. Matter of fact, I'm about to send it there now.
All right, while you do that, oh, you can
it's in the
multitask.
chat. So there's over 390 million guns as of 2018 that's in America. 390 million. I think that's more than the citizens we got in the country.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I think it's like 100 guns to each individual in America, something like this. It's a crazy number. My thing with the gun control, you know, the I don't know about the shooter in Buffalo. I don't know if I think he purchased his gun legally. I know the shooter, the 18-year-old in Texas, in Uvalde, he brought his gun legally. There's going to be a lot of pushback because a lot of people feel like, okay, yeah, there it go right there. So the estimated number of firearms per 100 residents is 120 in the U.S. You feel me? Look at countries that we consider third world countries. Serbia, Lebanon, all them. We got more guns than them. And I also believe in the article somewhere it says we from 1967 to 2018, U.S. had over 1.5 million deaths by guns. That's more than any conflict we ever been in. Ever. That's in the first paragraph, Willie.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, right here, yep.
So it's been more people killed by guns in America than soldiers at war. Of all the conflicts combined that we've been in. Willie's point, gun culture is so ingrained in America, it's not going anywhere. It's not. These people will kill and fight for their gun rights. Y'all can go on YouTube right now. It's 1,000 gun channels. you feel me? If you want to see some black hunters, you want to see some black shooters, Coleon Noir. That's one. He was real popular with the NRA. Now he doing something for somewhere else. You know, they always throw him after a mass shooting. They always throw him on TV somewhere so he could talk about whatever. Mental health is an issue in this country, period. I don't know, like Willie stated, and Dane, I don't know how you can correlate and bring the two together as far as making some type of, you know, like I think it was Willie said, you can go past, you know what I mean? You can pass these tests, these back tests. You know what I mean? You feel me? Most of the people look sane. So I feel like the only way you can tackle a Navy, I think he was a Navy SEAL. He was like, how come I have to, he was a Marine. He was like, how come I got to go every few months and get tested to make sure I'm able to still handle my gun properly, to make sure I'm still mentally stable. You feel me? And I'm on a Marine base. He said, I'm on base. He said, I can't even walk around with my gun on base. I'm a Marine. He said, why don't civilians have these type of checks? You know what I mean? Why don't they? And then we gotta admit that's why I mentioned the drive-bys and all that earlier. Because the 390 million, those like the registered guns.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't even talking about the illegal guns. You feel me? Most of these dudes doing drive-bys, their guns illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So what you gonna do about that? How can you, you know what I mean? How can you fight that? Like I said, New Jersey is one of the strictest gun laws. I mean, we got some of the strictest gun laws in New Jersey. You feel me? Very few other states match our restrictions.
New York just passed a law to make it stricter to get guns too. Just recently.
Yeah, it's like you can't even. Some states you got open carry. You can't open carry here. It's damn near impossible for you to get a concealed gun license to where you can walk with. You're not getting it in New Jersey. You feel me? Just not. You got to be armored truck. You got to have one of them type shits going on. So
now, okay, sorry.
I just think it's we done created a problem. What's the analogy?
Created a monster.
Yeah, or Pandora's box is open.
Oh, Pandora's box. Yeah.
You can't close it. You feel me? Like you can't close it no more.
Yeah.
Now another topic, statistic is legal guns fall in the hands of people with mental illness or teenagers with emotional issues, like the recent one in Michigan, Oxford, Michigan, when he got his parents' handgun or guns and went to his school and shot up the school. Now his parents would end up running for their lives and start trying to hide, but they're on the hook for that now.
Yeah,
that's another statistic that needs to be talked about too. Is gun safety, keeping it out of reach of people who don't need it.
Well, but that's the thing is that's another right that people feel like they should have, being able to teach their kids about guns, teaching their kids about usage, safety, all that kind of stuff. And in some of the situations, like in Oxford, that kid was being purposefully taught by his parents to use a gun and to have access to the guns as a part of a privilege of life. So I think that's the other thing, is the other side of it, is that they're like, hey, we want to be able to teach our kids to use guns. We see a big push for that in the Black community. Teach your kids how to use guns, teach them about gun safety, teach them about gun usage, teach them about firearms, and I think that, that's something else you're going to have to fight people on. This was another statistic shown on this BBC.com page, is they mentioned, how Americans feel about guns now. And, for quite some time, it's been, the consensus, not the consensus, but a higher percentage of people have said they want more strict rules. And about, the average for been about average for kept as it currently is. So I think that, we do have this greater population as surveyed that wants a little bit more stricter rules, but I think overall we still have this disconnect between law and reality. You know what I'm saying? Where, to Smooth's point, you have all these different states having different methods, policies, and restrictions, and it's something that I think has to be kind of labored across the board, where it's got to be like, what, if we're gonna have a safer community, do we sit by and to Dame's point, sit by and do nothing, or do we actually take some action?
Facts. That's the crux of the situation, ain't it? You feel me?
Very much so.
That's the crux of the situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. I only brought it up because I don't really got no answers, bro. I don't know where to start, because how can you predict somebody just going to a church or a supermarket or to a school? You feel me? You can't predict that, bro. Like,
no.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just something we don't think about. At least normal thinking individuals.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like, we can get pissed off all day, every day. We ain't thinking about going to shoot up no goddamn
right.
Shoot
a bunch of people on randoms.
I spoke to a guy in the military, this ex-military Marine, this past weekend. He actually said something on the lines of, you got all these veterans out here on the street who are homeless, probably want to do some work, but they can't get no job. You got all these schools available for, need protecting at this point. Once you hire those guys to patrol the school during school hours and make sure you got somebody on site. If something stupid like this happens, they're already on the inside where they can probably take care of the situation instead of waiting for the police to show up.
Well, that's the thing is that there's a lot of schools that already have that going on. Like my kid's school, they have resource officers and they have police officers in all of the schools. And, there's certain schools that have other, protections, locked doors, double door entries, buzz ins only, or even restrictions on who's allowed to come to the school and who's not, that kind of thing. So, I think, that's not really I don't think that's the solution. I think because it's like looking at the point of view of, instead of trying to prevent the actions from happening, just only protecting yourself from the action just seems like a bad way to do it. Now, if you're going to do both, I'm all for it. But if you're just going to only do the one, it doesn't make sense, because you're still opening this door for the actions to continue to happen, and then you're only hopeful that the things you put in place to protect yourself are going to work. I mean, to the point of the one school where they did have locked doors all around the school. I think Oxford had that too. They had locked doors around the school, but then you have that one door that gets left open, or you have some resource officer who's unwilling to go in when the action happens. You know what I mean? Or even the situation that just recently happened was in Texas, where they had police on scene, group of police, and they refused to go in. So the protections you put in place are never guaranteed anyway.
The sad thing is, how he got in was the door was left open.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he got in.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
man.
I mean, I don't think there's any. I don't think, to Smooth's point, there's no one answer to this problem. There's no one like he said too. You got to recognize this as an epidemic. You also have to recognize this as a 2-prong, 3-prong, 4-prong issue that needs to be addressed on all sides. You can't keep coming up with these one-part answers or ignoring it all completely, as our lawmakers have done, allowing gun makers and gun rights advocates to be in your pockets, to allow to just allow things to continue status quo just because it makes them happy. Looking at it from a standpoint of, if you can force everybody to wear masks, you can force people to have stricter gun laws. Don't take them away, because you're going to have a bigger fight on your hand. But saying, okay, you know what? You got a long gun, you got this kind of gun, you got that kind of gun to protect yourself. That's great. But at this point, you can't be out here buying AK-47s and Mac 10s and Dracos and claiming you hunting. Like, no, we're not going to allow that. Only if you have particular needs and uses, and it only pertains to these types of uses, then you could get those guns. Other than that, you're not going to have access to this. And then anybody who's caught with those, making them, distributing them, you cut off, or you're going to be heavily fined or imprisoned heavily, and making it more strict to that point, and then work on getting the guns off the streets. That's the biggest thing. You got to approach this from so many sides, and you got to make it one of those things where you chip away at the problem. That's the thing right now. We're not chipping away at the problem. We're creating a bigger problem. Because we're still allowing manufacturers to make the guns, still allowing people to buy the guns. We've been talking about this for 30 years, since 1990s. They just started tracking mass shootings in 91. So you got to think, we've had mass shootings before 91, but they only just started tracking. So you got to tell me, for 30 years we haven't decided what to do yet? That's ignorant.
And don't forget social media. Social media wasn't around back then either. So you don't know how.
That too. But
it could be much worse, because not all the news carriers going to carry all the information for every shooting that happened.
True. But that also creates the copycats, right? Because somebody sees like, oh, this happened, I'm gonna go ahead and go through with my plan now. You know what I'm saying? So that does create that as well. But the thing is that we got this ever evolving problem, and has it become more deadly? Some say yes, some say maybe. But we cannot deny that it's continuing to happen.
Exactly.
And it doesn't help that these politicians the ones that are gun lobbyists, are being backed by the NRA for their political gain. And just because it doesn't happen to their kids, they're not going to sacrifice their career for kids they don't know,
Right.
or for shootings that don't happen directly to them.
Here's another problem. A lot of those politicians are gun nuts too.
Yes,
True that.
and because it didn't happen directly to them or somebody who they love and know, they're not going to change anything because one, they're getting paid. Two, they still have their power and seat and what they're doing and their political aspirations.
But my thing is, even if it does happen to them, they're not going to change. It's just going to embolden them even more. Like, you know, I tell you, like some of these people love their guns, man. Like they like it makes them feel important. It makes them feel,
it makes them feel manly sometimes.
Yeah,
or more powerful.
More powerful. So like they not giving up their guns for nothing, bro. Know what I mean? And so, you know, at some point, and I know we got to get out of here. At some point, you feel me? One part of the solution got to be gun training. You feel me? Like because at this point, man, like the road we headed down, I feel like it's worse now as far as guns than it was before.
Oh yeah,
you feel me? It's not. I feel like it's much worse now. So, you know,
yeah. So one last thing before we go, I wanted to mention about this whole thing, and it goes along what you just said about the training. I believe when Lenise was talking about it on her last Parking Lot Pimpin', she was saying how, you know, I think it was China that has all these strict rules and strict ways of getting guns and getting permits. And that was one of the things. You have to do these classes, you know, to get certain types of guns. You have to do it every time you want to purchase. And that's going to alleviate some of that as well. It's like, okay, you know, if they got to go through hoops and jump over hurdles in order to supply and acquire, and then as well as they have restrictions on what type of guns, what type of firearms can be used, what type of ammo can be used, and they've even banned airsoft guns because they classify toy guns as real guns. So, you know, there's a lot of restrictions over there. I mean, yeah, they're a communist country, but the thing is that there's still a need to be more conscious of what we're doing and what we're allowing. That's all. So,
facts.
All right. Make sure you guys get at Sunny over at IamSunny_D at IG, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Check out her blog at underserverme.com. Smooth, you want to tell the folks where they can find you?
Y'all can catch me on Twitter all the damn time at eTrentonGroomy. Check out my blog at kingstruth.com. And I'll be on Snap too at the King's Truth. Get at me.
For sure.
Yo, you catch me up another level up on Instagram. Agent D, I'm not there no more. Shinlo21 on Twitch. Checkmate21 on TikTok. And Agent Shinlo on Xbox.
For sure. You said you're not on Twitter no more?
I'm not gonna open that thing back up. I don't know. Maybe one day.
As soon as I take it off, he's gonna be right back over there talking about. I'm on Twitter again. Like,
hey, leave it up there. I'll let you know when I'll let you know.
It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm over at Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Find me over at gamingwithstyles.com for video games that I'm playing. Actually, I haven't been on in a while because I've been focusing in on No Man's Sky's Expedition number 7, the Leviathan. It's hard. It's really hard. So make sure y'all go check that out on other people's pages. But I'm trying to focus, so y'all won't catch me too very soon till I can get through the Leviathan. But you can definitely check me out over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm checking out. WillieStyles.info for all my links. So make sure y'all get at me there. Chevy and I will be back. You can catch Chevy over at Esther Superstar on IG and Chevy the Superstar on YouTube and Twitch TV. You'll catch us, I believe, either Wednesday or next Wednesday. So make sure y'all look out for the announcements. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe so you can hear the announcements. But we should be back to do the Doctor Strange review. And then the following week we'll be starting on the Miss Marvel TV show. So make sure you guys look out for that. So we
And if
will
y'all
be back.
And if y'all missed last night, the fans' perspective, me and Dame and the fellas, Al, Kiss, and Jeezy, we held it down last night. We had a great show.
Still got drug testers, guys. Still got drug testers.
Dope show last night. Go check us out.
Yeah, make sure y'all go check that out. Fans' Perspective a few weeks ago actually had some super high ratings. You guys had just under 500 views over on YouTube. So shout out to y'all bringing the people what they want, all the sports news and entertainment. So make sure y'all check that out. Fans' Perspective every other Sunday. Like I said, you're going to catch Chevy and I starting Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, as well as Sunny will be back with the Sex with Sunny live show. She should be on at least one, if not 2 Sundays or 2 Fridays rather this month. So we will be back with that. And make sure y'all go check out our boy Hype, the How to Hustle podcast with Hype every Tuesday at 2 p.m. here, or check it out on all the audio platforms starting on Monday nights. So make sure you guys, or check Monday mornings. So check those out. Make sure you guys.
It's Hype, not Hype. He's not geeked up.
For sure. All right, y'all. It's midnight. We got to go. Holla at your boys.